Hi everyone, Kyle here from wideawakeph. In today's episode, we'll be talking about the Sloo, made and designed by Nate. Hi Nate.
Hello.
So we've been brewing a lot of coffee. We're very caffeinated right now.
Yeah.
But tell us about the Sloo. Can you introduce the product to us, please?
So the Sloo is a slow feeder. I designed it specifically for hand grinders, but I got the idea initially from like a bunch of different sources, but maybe the most famous source is Lance Hedrick.
Okay.
So with
The tilting one, the tilting.
not exactly
Oh.
from electric grinders.
Ah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I've seen like the concept of slow feeding electric grinders.
Yeah, you do it bean by bean.
Yeah, bean by bean.
Yeah.
So parang I wanted to see if it's possible and if it would change yung profile ng hand grinders.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Well,
So
yeah.
And initially I would when I was testing the concept, I would get like 2 or 3 beans, and then I put it in the grinder,
And then
and then
grind.
and then open it again, and then put
Wow.
more beans. So it took a while. Pero when I brewed, parang I felt like there was potential. So that's when I started doing the prototype.
Gotcha.
And then I wasn't into 3D printing yet. So I would make it with EVA foam.
Okay.
So the cosplayers use that kind of foam. And as well as Sintra board. So for the rigid parts, the bottom is Sintra.
Okay.
And then itong curved part is the foam.
The EV,
Yeah.
the foam, yeah.
So I was playing around with the design until I was happy with the interaction. So, and then that's when I started looking into 3D printing, and then
Okay.
I learned modeling, 3D modeling because of this product.
That's so
that I
interesting.
wanted to make. Yeah.
Okay, so it went the opposite way, because
Yeah.
usually people who are into 3D printing make stuff like this, but you did it the opposite way
I did it the manual way, parang proof of concept.
before you learned how to do 3D printing.
Yeah.
Okay.
So at least I had like parang this is how I wanted it to look like. And then I just had to execute it in a 3D model.
Got it.
And then I printed it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in terms of generations or iterations, how far along are you now with your Sloo, and are you already happy with this product right now as it is?
Yeah, I'm quite happy with it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm quite happy with it.
How many iterations till we got to this?
If you count the non-3D printed versions, siguro mga 15.
15.
Yeah,
See that?
15 iterations.
Yeah, that's impressive. How about let's go over some features of the Sloo, because you have an IG account for this, right? You'll see some demos of you using it. But in my experience, the product is actually much more impressive when you have it in your hand and you're actually using it. So like, I've had this thing, how long? A week?
2 weeks maybe?
2 weeks?
Yeah.
2 weeks tops. And
3 weeks.
honestly, I'm already noticing a very, very big improvement in my brews with the Kinu, specifically with the pour over burr, my favorite hand grinder, by the way. This section, what would you call this section?
It's a hopper / tray.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's so fun because the hopper / tray actually can house what, like 20 grams of coffee?
At least.
At least 20 grams.
Yeah. It depends on the roast.
You can
So,
you can
bean
essentially
size.
dose into the grinder, which actually makes the workflow a little bit more elegant, right?
Yeah.
Like less steps.
Yeah.
And then moving forward, there's like the shield in here. Can you tell us about this shield?
Well, I call it the slider
The slider.
because it slides.
Yep.
When I was designing it, that wasn't part of the design yet.
Okay.
When I was showing my concept to my friends, they would say, "Now, what if there was some way to restrict the beans? Because sometimes they felt like it was loading
Too much.
beans. So if you're not used to it, parang when you tilt it, parang it just ends up loading like 10 beans kaagad.
Got it.
Parang, can you restrict it? So I made the slider to
Nice.
para like if there's some skill issues or
skill issue.
No, but
Yeah.
it's easier
That's fair. Yeah.
to start if you're not used to it. But ako personally, I don't use the slider anymore.
Yeah.
Because I just manage
On how you tilt it.
on how I tilt it.
Well, for me, the slider indicates that when you have it in your hand again, like it indicates that this thing is really well designed, because if you look at the shape of the slider, there's actually an indentation where a finger would go to. So you can use your pointer finger or your thumb to slide it, and it feels good, right? Like for me, that small thing makes it even much more fun to use. And then finally, we can go to the final point. So like the flow of the beans, right? You go from the hopper, and then when you tilt the grinder itself, and you make a spin like that, that's when the beans flow into the chamber, right? And there's a small hole in here. Yeah. So
that hole took a lot of tries to get right.
Oh, really? Okay.
If it was a bit too narrow, it
Beans
would
won't
clog.
come.
Yeah, it would clog.
Let's disassemble the Sloo, and then let's go over the insides.
Yeah.
So people can know what to expect should they buy one. So what are these things? I noticed the components are softer.
Yeah.
What's it made of?
It's made out of TPU.
TPU.
Yeah.
What does that stand for?
I'm not sure.
Okay, edit that out. It's TPU.
TPU.
All right. So there's this collar thing, right?
Well, I call it the restrictor disc because it adds another layer of restriction of introducing beans into the grinder. So just in case when you tilt it, just in case you load too much beans into this ramp, it would restrict the amount of beans that enter the grinder per revolution of the handle.
Got it.
So it would introduce 1 to siguro 3 beans.
At most.
Yeah. So you see there's a hole here and there's also a hole here. So whenever those two holes match, it would dispense a few beans at a time.
Got it.
So you do that.
See, he knows what he's doing. So paano siya? Ganyan, no? It sits in between the burst stabilizers.
Yes.
Okay.
For this model, the Kino, there's 2 stabilizers or whatever you call it.
Yeah. Okay, got it.
So it's shaped as this, and you just put it there.
Got it.
So you can choose whichever way you want it.
Okay.
How do you orient it?
I actually, so when you have it, there's actually 2 ways of orienting it, right?
Yeah.
So there's one way wherein you have call this chute. The chute go down directly into the bean restrictor.
Yeah.
And then there's another way wherein, of course, you can restrict it even more.
Yeah.
So, for me, I like doing it the more restricted way.
Makes sense.
For me.
Yeah.
For me.
For you.
Yeah. Although it does make it slower. So there's that. Nate, one of the things I really enjoy about the Sloo is that there's a certain skill or technique aspect with how you use it. And I think that actually makes it more fun to use because it's very much in tune with hand grinders as a concept, right? So what I really enjoy with it is depending on when and how you tilt it determines your feed rate. If you're grinding this way, the beans won't flow into the hopper or into the grind chute. You need to tilt it at, what do you call this, 60 degrees, 65 degrees?
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that, slowly like this, so that beans will fall down into your grinder.
Actually, what I do is, so I hold it somewhat vertical, but not super vertical.
Okay.
So like that.
All right, around 80 degrees.
So when you're grinding, the centrifugal force will keep most of the beans at the end.
Yes.
I think you've experienced that.
Yes.
And then when I want to load beans,
yes,
I would slow down a bit.
Yeah.
And then just do a small nudge.
Okay. You can play around with this, right? You can play around.
You could slow feed faster. You could slow feed slower.
Yeah. Personally, I'm thinking of using some combination of this for a competition. So from a competition perspective, you'd want your cups to be extremely consistent, meaning you want your grinding to be extremely consistent.
Yeah.
And that's why I favor grinding it to be as slow as possible.
Yeah.
So what I do is I have it 90 to 80 degrees somewhere here, so that beans do not fall at all into the hole. Grind, and then once I'm done, once there's almost no resistance at all, that's when I tilt, feed 6 beans, or at most 3 to 6 beans, and then do it again. So it's extending my grind time by maybe a minute, right? So if my normal grind time is like 45 seconds to 1 minute, depending on dose size, I'm grinding around 2 minutes. Initially, it was 3.
Yeah.
Just because, you know, I was a noob, I didn't know how to use it.
It does take a bit of a parang muscle memory.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to build that.
Yeah, but that's what's fun about it, right? Like in the beginning, you'd think na, oh, it's so hassle, right? Like, oh, it's so slow.
Yeah.
But that's the point. You're grinding to make your coffee taste better, and you know, honestly, another minute, another at most 2 minutes of grinding doesn't hurt because the resistance is much lower and your water's not done boiling. So it's really like, it really is in line with the ethos, I think, of manual grinders, because it just makes the whole process more intentional. Personally, I'm very excited to have Nate on here because I enjoy supporting local makers, local products, especially if they're well designed. And in my opinion, the Sloo is very well designed because it's simple, it's mechanical, it's seamless, and it elevates so many aspects of the grinder, from workflow to overall taste quality. Yeah. So just to illustrate my point, earlier we were brewing with a couple of different grinders, right? We were brewing with the Kinu pour over burr, with the Sloo, the Pietro, you can show that. Yeah. The Pietro equipped with the brew burrs as well. And then my Zerno Z1 with the 64mm SSP brew burr version 1. So not the MP, the brew, very specific focused filter burr. Okay. And in my opinion, the Kinu equipped with the Sloo elevated the cup profile such that for me, it was matching the brews taste-wise or cup quality-wise with both the Pietro and the Zerno. How about you? What did you think?
Yeah, out of the three, the Kinu would be the most different, but not different in a bad way. Like different in a different way of presenting the coffee.
Agree. Yeah. So how I would describe it is the brew burrs, both of them are very, very the same. Like 90%, I would say, similar. Yeah. In a way that 20% acidity, it's very vibrant,
quality,
right? Very bright.
Yeah, very bright.
Tart, clear, crisp flavors, but the texture in the body is like not the star of the show. Whereas with the Kinu, you get the acidity is not as articulated, not as vibrant, but it's just as clean and just as clear, with added sweetness and texture. So
the creamy, there's a certain creaminess to the texture.
Yeah, 100% agree. So I would actually think that it makes a more balanced brew, something that's easy to drink every day, whereas the brew burrs are very
more analytical,
colder. This is in audio terms. This is a warmer profile, soft, comforting, easygoing, whereas the brew burrs are very sharp, as you said, analytical, meaning you can really pinpoint the acidity and have it it's really in your side of vision. Very, very easy to detect. And that's amazing because if you think about it, it's less expensive than the other grinders, right? And
it's just a small upgrade, but
very meaningful.
Yeah.
Speaking of small upgrades, how much is the Sloo, and how do you order it?
Just DM me.
DM
on Instagram.
Okay.
My page, natesmix.n8.
Okay, we'll just link that. And then, how much is the average price of the Sloo? I know you make it for different models, right?
Yes. So
can you tell?
I have, for the Kinu, I have it. For the
Kinu, all models?
I've recently, not the Phoenix, the one with the plastic supports. So I haven't done that version yet.
So you can do it for the M47 Classic.
I think you can use the top part, just not the restrictor disc.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so basically you
restriction.
You can use any Kinu owner can message you and have this,
Yeah.
right?
In
Okay.
the Philippines.
In the Philippines.
So, yeah.
Okay. And then what
I
else?
don't do international yet.
Yet. And then what other grinders?
I have ZP6.
ZP6?
Or the K Ultra.
Oh, okay. All right.
They're the same.
The same the same
Yeah,
top.
the same
Okay.
top.
All right. What else?
Different shape lang sa dial, pero it's the same dimensions.
Okay. What else?
And also, there's an old model called the
The old ZP6.
K Max or something.
Okay,
Or-
Max.
Have to check.
Okay, that's all right. What
I'll
else?
put it here.
What else?
And then the C40.
C40.
Of course, Mark 3 and Mark 4.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's summarize that.
And
We can do
also timer.
C2 and
C2,
C3.
C3, C2S, C3S.
Oh, impressive.
But
Okay.
not with the folding handle. So
Okay.
yung solid handle.
Okay.
Iba pa yung dimensions ng folding handle. Hindi ko pa na-measure yet.
Got it. But if an owner is willing to send a grinder over to you so you
Yes,
can
I
adapt it,
yeah,
you can
easily
make it.
adapt it.
And then, all right. So, any hand grinder, if he doesn't have it, you can send it to him and he will make it.
Yeah.
Actually, that's what happened with my model. I sent it to him because Kinu doesn't make everything the standard in a standardized way.
So I should have brought my Kino.
That's fine. So it took him
Iba yung
how long? 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
It took him 2 weeks to make mine. So it's semi-custom because mine is like really old, like
Yeah, different dimensions.
2015, I think.
Talaga?
Yeah.
2015.
Yeah. I bought this when I
Yeah.
was still in college.
Oh, wow.
So I'll summarize. You can do any Kinu model, ZP6, K Ultra,
Yeah.
C40, Gen 2, Gen 3, Timor, C2, C3, C3S,
C2S.
C2S,
Yeah.
and then any hand grinder you want, just send it to him.
Any hand grinder that the lid can detach.
Yeah, and
Kasi I've come across some hand grinders like yung Cosinair.
costing okay.
Yeah.
At Zinger,
I don't know, but the handle and the lid
it's integrated.
like it's literally one piece.
Oh shit.
So
Okay.
I can't
Okay.
do that.
90% of 95% of hand grinders out there. If you have it, just send him a photo, talk about it.
Yeah.
You send it to him, he will custom make you one,
Yeah.
and it's legit because it got back to me. We're making video. I mean, I can confirm that
Yeah.
slow feeding benefits most grinders. Of course, for me, it's a very rare case that slow feeding does not improve coffee flavor.
Yeah, so far with all the grinders that I've tried and I've made a Sloo with, yeah, you can try it at home. Like if you have, you need a lot of patience, of course. But for the benefit of getting a cleaner cup,
Yeah.
yeah, you can just try one bean, maximum 5 if you really want to grind it fast, easily.
Before you buy,
Yeah.
test it out that way.
If it works for you, then this would make it much simpler.
Yeah, personally, I can guarantee you that, especially with a hand grinder, you slow feed it with the Sloo, or as Nate was saying, manually.
Yeah.
You will experience these things: a smoother mouthfeel, like a cleaner, softer texture,
Yeah.
and then the acidity becomes more well articulated. So you get more flavor separation as well as a higher quality of acidity. So if your lemon tasting coffee tasted like lemons before, now it will taste much more defined. Not necessarily sharper. It just makes brewing much more fun, I think,
Yeah.
with that. Hey everyone, some bonus content for you. Since filming the original video with Nate, I actually acquired from him the day itself the Slooh for the ZP6. I got this in silver. I really like the color. It feels like an old PlayStation 1. Yes, I'm old. I wanted to update you guys on my experience with the Slooh on the ZP6 after 2 weeks of ownership. So I've been brewing with this grinder every day for the past 2 weeks to really see and understand how the Slooh has affected the grind performance and the brewing outcomes that I'm getting with the ZP6. I actually have not really been enjoying the ZP6 as much before having the Slooh on, so I haven't been using it just because I have, grinders that are more tuned to my taste preferences. So this really took like a backseat when grinding and for brewing. But now since adding having the Sloo with it, I would say it does make tasty coffee. So let's refine that. The ZP6, when you brew coffee with it, I would say it's a very great hand grinder. It presents acidity in a very forward kind of way. It makes your coffee feel very exciting, especially with the acidity presentation. And then sweetness and texture take a definite backseat in the brewing outcomes, especially when you're brewing with lightly roasted coffees like I do. You get a lot of that acidity. What don't I like about that? Subjectively, I don't like that exaggerated sharpness. I feel like it doesn't completely, perfectly represent the tasting notes or the cup experience of the coffee that I'm brewing it with. I'd say the acidity is so high and sharp that we lose balance, right? The sweetness and the texture do not support the acidity such that it feels disharmonious and it feels too sharp to the tongue. So it's a very one note, very like punchy sort of presentation. It zooms in on a specific flavor note. Let's say your coffee has 3 flavor notes, right? Like apple, let's say lemon, let's say strawberry. It's going to zoom in on one, and then the other 2 will be like at the background or at the foreground, right? It's like let's say apple's the one it's zooming into. You get a bit of lemon first, and then apple, and a little bit of strawberry. That's how it goes. Now the question is, what happens when you have the Sloo on? What I noticed is a better tasting balance. So I would have assumed that acidity would go even higher and I'd get more clarity, but that's not exactly the case. What happened was, obviously I'm getting less amount of fines in the brewer. Like you can see, and when you touch it, there are more coarse bits versus fine bits at the same grind setting, by the way. And also what I noticed is when brewing and tasting, there's a better harmony. So I would say sweetness and texture have gone up. And interestingly, there's a decrease in acidity. By acidity, I mean acidity, intensity of the acidity. So if the treble before was +2, +3, now it's +1.5, +2, sometimes +1 if you brew it a certain way. Slight bump down in the intensity of the acidity. But the quality of the acidity that it presents is better. It's a little bit less on that one note thing, but still kind of like, it's not as well separated as this Kinu or the Zerno Brewer. But what's more important to me is the overall harmony and the overall balance is much improved. Actually, if you see here on the table, I have 2 cups of coffee that I've been enjoying. So I brewed the exact same coffee with the Kinu, Sloo, pour over burr, and the ZP6, exact same time. But the difference here is I didn't do the exact same recipe for both. I used the recipe that I like, essentially, for both grinders. So I used the new to me MHW Bomber in glass with a T92 paper filter from Cafec. I used the Kinu Pob at setting 4.5, and then I did the 3-pour recipe at 93 degrees Celsius. 14 grams of coffee is to 210 ml. And then for the ZP6, I did 14 grams is to 210 ml as well, but I did a 2-pour recipe, so 100 ml and 110 ml, also 93 degrees Celsius. Same brewer, same filter paper. So what I found here, this comparison, is whatever I just described to you really rings true. So with the ZP6, it's still a very acid-forward brew, but better balance. You get a little bit more sweetness, you get a little bit more texture, but the presentation of that acidity, slightly less harsh and less sharp. And you get a more tactile body and slightly bit more sweetness in the cup. Definitely +0.5 to +1 on the sweetness and texture front. I did a 2-pour recipe for this one because I didn't want more extraction, I didn't want more contact time, because that would just bump up the acidity way too much for me, and it would result in a non-balanced cup. For the Kinu, on the other hand, with a pour over burr, I stand by what I said when Nate was here. I do think The pour over burr with the Kinu, with the Sloo is, I would say, end game grinder level. That's a bold claim, I know, but if you're looking for a grinder that isn't just about presenting the acidity in a very forward way, but instead you're looking for a grinder that is harmonious, balanced, soft, right? Comfortable, easy to drink, lower flavor intensity. This is what you want, right? Yes, the constraint is, I would say, brewing ratios max out at 1:15. So if you want to make the most out of this grinder, you don't grind that fine, and then you do 1:13 to 1:15 with your brewing ratio. What you get is a humongous sweet spot. What you get is a cup experience that is extremely well layered, in that you're presented with a super nice, like, creamy texture first, backed by so much sweetness, and then you get like this wave and play of acidity at the end. So I think a lot of people aren't used to this kind of style. So a lot of people kind of dismiss the Kinu and Kinu pour over burr as like boring or flat. But if you get used to a lower intensity kind of presentation, it's frankly amazing for me. To get the most out of it, I would recommend you play around with your water. I think going for a softer water setup, 50 to 80 ppm is good for this, just to bump up that sensation of acidity if you like. So for me, this is like end game grinder level. For me, it's at the level of Zerno and Brewer, but the opposite. This is like warm, soft, sweet, not sharp at all. Whereas that one is very analytical, very sharp, very clinical in its acidic presentation, very strong acidity. So yeah, that's it for today's video. I hope this was helpful to you. If you enjoy our videos, please like and subscribe. And most importantly, buy our coffee. Every bag you buy helps us make these videos, so please support us by buying our coffee. You can DM us on Instagram or Facebook, and we will reply as soon as we can. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.